Yep. Ready to go.
Okay, call this meeting to order. Deborah, will you please give the invocation?
Sure. Dear God, I thank you for this time together, and I thank you for all of these commissioners and the citizens that are here, all interested to do the will and the work of this county. Lord, please be with us. Give us pure hearts and help us to do your will as we work for our county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Could I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I've been through the minutes. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. No report from the chairman at this point. Mr. Mayor?
No report. I'll take the items as they come if that's okay.
Okay, great. Recognition of the public. Anybody want to speak? Nope. Okay, old business. Progress on securing Cottontown Post Office and the Draper House. There's no action on that. As you all know, we voted to override the veto last month. And so we are in the process of getting prices on the roof. I think, Mr. Mayor's at Thursday, the bid is over on the 8th. Okay, so we should have prices to talk about next month. Discuss the architectural report for Sumner County jail roof. We have a short.
Thank you. Jacob Cherry, our Associate Architect, Project Manager at Wall Architects and Engineers. It's a pretty lengthy report, but we have been working with a roofing contractor who you currently work with, and we've also been up on the roof with a couple of representatives from some commercial coating applications. And big picture, there's sections of your roof that need to be repaired before it's a good candidate for coating, and there are portions of the roof that really need to be re-roofed. So in the report, there are figures for the cost for both of those and recommendations on moving forward. If there are any questions, let me know and I'd be happy to answer.
I have a question. You've specified Firestone Roofing, which has recently sold to a new company.
Wholesome.
I have an adversity to ever specifying a particular brand because it creates a lock and a lot of times an opportunity to really increase the prices. How do you feel about Firestone's spec or an approved equal?
Generally speaking, the way that we go about putting together specifications for a public bid project is to have an open specification. Why we have not recommended one specific coating or one specific EPDM product or manufacturer for the roofing repair. So we always approach this with an open specification that generally lists at least 3 manufacturers, and there are options for approved equals if they go through a pre-bid substitution process.
Okay. And,
Firestone, that is for the archives roof.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Firestone in there as well.
We had commercial, I have to read back off the report, but the Pacific Polymers Commercial Coatings Division,
Right.
that fellow, he reps Geico, which does a number of fluid applied systems.
Okay. But for the tower.
We simply said an EPDM.
Okay.
So it's just
I
a
must have
rubber
missed it.
single ply
Okay,
membrane.
then I misunderstood. Okay, any other questions?
Is your line of questioning, Mr. Chairman, is it applicable to the discussion for the archives roof? Can we go ahead and nail that down?
Well, you didn't do the report on the archive roof, so that's a different issue.
I am capable of speaking towards Wholesome and Firestone, though. We've used them. We've had great success with them. We've also had projects that are kind of a bummer. So it really depends on the management team and how you actually go through the administration of the contract.
Okay, good, then it's an open spec. All right, so, Mr. Mayor, is your opinion we need to take some action on this, or?
Well, if we're gonna fix that roof, you need to move it to budget
Okay,
and let budget make the decision on how much you wanna spend.
okay. Could I entertain a motion to move the specification?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
No. Okay. New business, status of stations tours, that, I had to shake up my memory on that one, and that's the volunteer fire departments. And so what I've done is I have gotten some specifications by the state and the state fire department on what should be the equipment in a volunteer fire department. And I'm reviewing it, and as soon as I'm satisfied that it's everything we need to talk about, I will get it out to everybody. And then what I would like to do at that point, there's nothing really to vote on at this point, but I would like to do work in pairs to go to the volunteer fire departments as a committee and assess each volunteer fire department if that sounds good to the committee. So, yes.
What would be the outcome? What was the intent or the purpose of doing the assessment?
Well, what we want to do is, it kind of came through EMS, or the emergency services with Daryl. And we have some fire departments that are lacking in some of the equipment, maybe showers for toxic
Yep.
and those kinds of things. So the ultimate goal is to see where we're lacking. Yeah, and prioritize what we need to do, and then make those recommendations to budget, and then budget can.
How many of the volunteer fire departments does the county own, the facilities?
That I don't know, and that's one of those things that some are owned by us and some are not. And so what we'll have to do in the process is discover that.
Okay, yeah, because I'm thinking with that, it's like, I understand it's looking at the county-owned facilities. That would be the scope of what we would do, but the ones the volunteer fire department own, I don't know that that would be within our.
Yeah, and we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. So anyway, Chrissy, would somebody make a motion to discuss?
I'll make a motion to discuss.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
It's my understanding it was more so about the conditions that they were in, not their equipment. And so prioritizing which station got help with renovations or relocated to something better suited to them. So will there be like a list of equipment, if that is the case, or criteria for us to check off? How are we supposed to?
Well, we will assess it as general operations. We will look at the buildings.
Right, but this is just opinion.
Right.
For a lot of people that aren't in that line of work.
Right.
But, so, I think when this came to Health and Emergency Services, I'm on that committee, it was about the drastic need to renovate some of these places that weren't suited to be fire halls.
Right.
And I think they wanted us to look at them to basically take a look at it for ourselves to see how bad the conditions were.
Yeah.
And as far as professional opinion of it or something like that, I think, I don't know that we'll all come to a consensus. So
Well, that's why
I understand his line of questioning is where do we go with
That's why I've
checklist
gotten
or?
two different specifications of what the state of Tennessee requires. You know, and why I wanted to review them is I don't know that they talk about the general construction of a building. I don't know. All I know is that at budget, volunteer fire departments are talking about getting brand new buildings. Well, I don't know that we need to put that kind of money out for brand new buildings because I don't know what is required and what is the expectation. Oh, hi.
Can I say something?
Sure.
You're gonna, you gotta.
Make a
We
motion
gotta-
to
You
suspend.
can't just let them talk.
I'm sorry, can we suspend the rules for a second?
Motion.
So,
Second for a short.
All in favor?
Aye.
we've had an aggravated assault in the apartment complex over here, and the suspect he ran this way, so he's somewhere between here and Belk, and in the woods, we've got dogs and drones and a lot of police.
You ain't gonna ask for permission for that.
Yeah,
Just
just
come
come
on
on.
in.
We thought you were talking about.
No,
Get
I thought you were gonna
bored.
speak
No, I
about
just
the
want
fire.
I just want to tell you, the doors are locked.
That's
I couldn't
a
get
good-
in. I had to let the mayor come and had to let me in.
You got people outside the building right now? Just-
Police are all around that, we don't have anybody right here. I'm sorry? Yeah, Belk right here.
Oh, at the Bell, okay.
Yeah.
Now you're good.
So,
He's like, wait.
when you go to your car, pair up, and if we get them before, I'll text him, tell him.
Okay.
Or I'll tell you, I may just do a blast on the county commission thing, but, nobody's seen him come this way, but we don't know where he's at. So we're flying, got dogs and everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Never don't know.
No, you're fine.
Hey, Ian,
Yeah.
welcome back.
What a jerk.
I'm gonna unsuspend the rules since we didn't need them.
I had no idea. I thought he was wanting to talk about the stations.
Okay. So, anyway,
You have some
I
specifications.
have specifications that I got from Dale Allen, and I was always told by Ken, and he's the guy to go to. So, I'm gonna review them. If it looks like it's something we can all work with, I'll get them out to everybody. We'll make an assessment of it, and we'll just do it over email. And then we'll go ahead and put groups together and assess. And the reason I want at least 2 people going to each one is because that triggers thoughts on the regulations. So if that sounds good to everybody, that's what I.
How many fire halls are there?
I don't even know how many volunteer fire departments we have in the county. So this is all kind of a new thing. Do you know?
I do not know. I know White House has 2 volunteer fire department stations. Does it make sense to do them all, or the ones that are making requests?
I think to be fair, we need to do them all, because there are some that, that are requesting stuff, and there are others that are not, and some of the ones that are not may be in tougher shape than the ones that are requesting things. I just think and it's good for us as general operations committee members to understand what we own and what.
Do we own it? I think that goes back to the original question.
Well, and we're involved in funding them in one way or another, so.
Because I know we do a donation, right?
Right.
Do a charitable, and that's the only funding they get from the county. And I think that's legally,
Yeah, I think it's $24,000 per volunteer fire department. So I should know how many we've got. I don't know offhand how many. If I had other paperwork with me, I could discuss it. So anyway, that's where.
I think it's 11 or 12, David. I'm pretty sure.
I think that's true.
12.
12?
I think that sounds
Okay.
right.
Mary knows. Okay, 12, there are 12. Okay, so I don't think there's any action to take until I review this stuff and get it out to everybody.
Next month?
So,
Okay.
Old business?
pardon?
Go to old business?
No, we're on news business.
We're on
I'm
new
asking.
business.
Yeah,
this is
we
gonna
do.
roll
Do you
down.
want to move that
Oh,
to
yeah,
old
go ahead and
business?
move it to old business. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I
Sorry, I'm not sure.
misunderstood.
I can't figure
Okay. Did you all get the email on the update on the parking structure in the courthouse? I did get an update text this afternoon at 3 o'clock from Randall Coy. And he's the one who's in charge of it and is overseeing it for us. And he said, quick update on the garage. Turner met with David Kellogg at Gallatin Public Works, and he gave them the green light to proceed. Turner's been working on scheduling Jarrett to get on site to begin the utility relocations. We'll see movement over there in the next few days. So they'll get started on it this week. I haven't gotten the confirmation on which day they'll be on site, but want you to know going into your meeting this evening, that last hurdle has been cleared. So that's the most up-to-date information on that. So I can't answer any questions besides what I just read you and what I sent you in emails. So that's the update on the courthouse. Are there any questions that you would like me to convey to anybody else? Okay, good. All right, item C, archive building roof. It's been determined that no architect will be required. Specifications are being established and the bid process will start soon. Could I entertain a motion to discuss?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Mr. Mayor, why don't you go ahead and lead off?
On the archives,
Mm-hmm.
okay. We talked about the Firestone, because there is an existing warranty on it, we'll need to keep that warranty, we'll need to use an authorized Firestone installer, on that project. We also had another report that was done April 4th and showed some significant issues that we need to address, that are outside the original scope that y'all put forward. And I'd emailed that out, had the pictures, so I think it'd be good if I get some direction. Do you want to address these issues? Do you want to leave them as they are and address them later?
Well, what I read in that report was that it was the siding, which is what Commissioner Moss and I came up with in the first place. I didn't see anything different besides what he and I had addressed in the beginning and have gotten estimates on. So I'm not.
Well, we've got some issues with the membrane. I think it'd be good if we did a scan on the membrane.
Oh, are you talking about the insulation?
Yeah.
Okay.
And do a scan on that. We've got the issues with the drains, the ponding on some of the, on the roof. There's some issues with that needs to be addressed. The tear beneath the exposed lap on the walk path tiles. See, the support beam on the rooftop railing, I think that'll be fixed when we remove that railing, so that should be okay.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you got bubbling due to moisture beneath the membrane,
Right.
which would bear the study. We got a flashing joint puncture. We had some leaks develop at some of the dormers, so that's something that we probably need to have looked at.
Okay.
That's just,
Those leaks at the dormers were very minor, as I understand it.
well, there's still leaks.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
Yeah.
there's big flood leaks and
Well, yeah,
there's dripping.
but we really should fix all leaks.
Well, absolutely. No, we want to fix all leaks, but
So
that's-
I want direction from this committee
okay.
on how you want to address these, or if you want to continue with the original specs.
Okay. Anybody have any points of discussion?
I only had a question about that warranty. I saw the email that you sent to the mayor asking about the warranty, and I just wanted that answered so I understood it a little bit better. Was that warranty on that archive roof the work, or was it on the product only?
It's on the product, which usually includes the labor if we have to fix something.
So Firestone is the person warranting it. Their company
Yeah.
is warranting it.
That's who did the work. Yeah, well, it was a authorized Firestone installer, so that's what we would have to use to keep the warranty.
How much time is left on the warranty?
5 years,
Out of how many?
5, 6 years out of what, 15? 20 years.
2008 was when it began.
Okay. So we got 5 out of 20 left.
Okay.
So roughly 25% of the warranty left.
I've got a question if I may, Chairman. Is this not the same company you said was bought out by somebody else?
Firestone is now a division of, I forget the name.
Wholesome or something like that. But what is that? he left.
They recently got bought out.
Wholesome or something?
Wholesome, H-O-L-C-I-M.
And I was just curious if the warranties were transferable and all that.
I don't know.
That's what I wanna know, how much of it's work?
We had already called them out, Perry Roofing had come out in January.
I think it was around that time, did some warranty work then, there were some punctures. Yeah, it was Perry Roofing,
Okay. And they're a Firestone
they're
installer?
authorized, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can you refresh my memory on what exactly we were looking to do outside of what the mayor's talking about? What was the original project scope?
We are going to remove the handrails
Okay.
and the supports for the handrails.
Yep.
We're gonna strip the vinyl siding.
Uh-huh.
Underneath it is Tyvek, which will be removed. Then there's a plywood vertical wall.
And it was put that material on the wall?
Yeah, and
Okay.
the sheet metal on top of the parapet would also be removed, and the vents.
Okay,
New vents installed, EPDM 45 mil, positively adhered to the plywood. Also attached to the roof so that it can't work its way back up. New sheet metal, and it would be, and new vents, and it would be.
so we were addressing just essentially that wall and cap, if you
Yeah.
will, and not the actual roof.
Right, because the roof
Still-
does not, Commissioner Moss went up there with Perry Roofing, and any leaks that they had that were on the roof side, the EPDM, were taken care of. And so the only place we can find that there were leaks was coming in that deformed and warped vinyl siding. And now they've apparently discovered in one or two of the dormers. When Commissioner Moss and we tried to find how to get into the dormers and we couldn't do it, so I'm not sure how they discovered they were coming in the dormers, but apparently they are, so we'll take a good hard look at that. I was not aware that the insulation had been saturated, so that, and they determined that from the bubbling.
That's in their report, yes.
Okay, okay.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, on that additional report there that shows like some of the different punctures and whatnot, that would be covered under warranty?
That I would have to ask. I would think the punctures would be covered under warranty. So but that's something that I would have to ask.
Okay, and then like that, I guess the bubbling, anything on that roof in itself, potentially would be covered under warranty.
Could potentially be, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So potentially any of that insulation damage would be part of the warranty as well.
I would hope so.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, if in order to keep, are you absolutely certain that whatever we put on the parapet walls has to be Firestone? Because obviously the vinyl siding wasn't a Firestone product.
It is my understanding that if we do the EPDM, that yes, we have to use Firestone installer to maintain, because we will be tying in
Okay.
to the Firestone roof. So we will be altering the Firestone roof. And we need to do that with the Firestone installer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since the insulation damage and is part of the roof warranty, I would think that we should get the Firestone people out there to do an infrared analysis of the insulation, what has to be changed.
I can get Perry out there.
Yeah.
They
And
get the
then,
last word.
I tell you what, let me talk with the consultant, if you don't mind, and talk to him about the dormer leaks. Because I, for the life of me, can't figure out how they figured those out, because you can't even get to them. So, other than that, I think yeah, go ahead.
I have a question, just since you mentioned the dormers. It reminded me of the dormers here is that, build out at a different time, just like this building was? Did they finish off that third floor or upper floor over there and close off dormers like they did here?
Yeah, it's totally different, Jim.
But was it a secondary finish out?
No.
Like the dormers were open at
No,
one
they
time?
were originally done that.
They were always closed in.
Always
There
closed.
should be access to those
Yeah,
for purposes like what we saw here and now we're seeing there.
Yeah.
That's a future problem that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, we didn't see it. Yeah, the
Suspects in custody, by the way.
Good to know.
suspects in custody, so.
Good to know. Something we may need to address later, not in this meeting, but
Yeah.
think about.
Yeah, well, I tell you,
So,
I think the way we need to go on this is the mayor needs to talk to them about covering the warranty on the insulation and stuff. And before we move forward with the rest of the work, I think we need to determine what they're going to cover under warranty. Because if they say, nah, we're gonna prorate it, and we've only got 5 years left on it, it may not be worth doing.
Right, okay.
So,
We'll work on those answers for you.
okay, do we need to make a motion or?
let it roll, or we can
You
defer it.
Yeah,
Could
we'll
just roll
send
it
over to
old
old
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, just send it to old business, okay, great. Maintenance department in the TRC building, estimates are coming in regarding costs. I've been getting estimates, and I don't have any firm numbers yet, but I do have framers looking at it, and most of the work is woodwork, hanging doors, and then electrical. And so I should have all of those prices the next time we get together. And the reason I haven't been in a big hurry is because our legal team has said, don't do anything until we've resolved this with the election commission. So what I want to do is make sure that when we get the green light, we can pull the trigger on it.
Can
Yeah.
I ask a question about that? We
Yeah,
got that-
hang on, Wes had a
Yeah.
question.
We're not open for discussion.
Oh,
Motion to discuss.
Or I was gonna say,
Okay.
should we make a?
Can you get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So question, when I looked at that plan, it had a lot of detail on there, but I didn't see the square footage. What was the total square footage of that design
Total
space?
square footage in that area is about 6,000 square feet.
Okay.
Is that all you had?
Was that plan?
The question I had was, for legal, if it's okay if I ask, since that was always a separate section of the building and the election commission recognized that from the beginning, is there any reason why we should have to wait when that doesn't affect them at all?
It's best to let the courts make a decision on this and then move on with the plans. I don't wanna look like I'm trying to sidestep the court or insert any kind of authority that the courts come back later and say, you move too fast, or you don't have, rights to do this until there's been some final hearing. I just don't like messing with the case by, basically what we'd be saying is regardless, we're controlling this and we're gonna do whatever we want to. While
Even
I'm
if-
still support the position, you all can dictate who's in there. There's too many issues wanting to be litigated in this case for us to act on that.
What if all parties, including the election commission, were okay with it and we got them to sign off on that? I just hate holding up the maintenance department that's been waiting so long for, something that
So we
could
spend,
just
my
delay.
concern is we spend money, we get them moved, and there's some sort of reallocation or agreement to do something different, and then all of that was a exercise in futility.
Is that ever an option though? Because the election commission wasn't ever gonna take over that section of the building. They were always okay with only.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
taking
there's
their half.
security issues, cameras, there's the voting machines. I mean, they brought up a whole slew of things that say, well, without getting into the meat of the case,
It would jeopardize them.
yes.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask.
And I believe they're actually, based on filings I've been reading here of late, they're wanting full use of the facility.
I never knew that was the case.
So-
They wanted the whole
Oh,
building.
they wanted the whole thing at first.
I thought they agreed
I think
upon
we just need to
giving
take the
part.
advice,
Yeah.
volunteer, and move on.
Yeah.
And I would just like to, as far as what's on the agenda, I wouldn't even attempt a bid process, cause that could change
No, I'm just
significantly.
giving rough prices,
Yeah.
you
That
know,
just needs to
kind of
go
on my
business.
own. Yeah. But I know we've got interested parties.
It's my suggestion, we just drop this till we got some clarification.
Not even go to old
Okay.
business?
Yeah.
Just take it off the agenda
All
altogether.
general?
Take it off.
All right. One more,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.